Hello and welcome, Jensen Vars here. We're going to play the session number 2 for Biodangers of Veda, a homebrew on the fly running game of Starfinder RPG, and I'm playing solo. I'm both the GM and the player. In the last episode, our characters Esetos and Zenra arrived to the research facility of Veda, in order to search for a missing agent of Operative Mr. Adams, who had been lost after they sent her to research, let's say, shady business in the research facility. What we know about those shady business is that they are doing something with the jungle planet they are in, called Veda, that is not yet, let's say, allowed by the systems of the Pact. This is part of the setting of Starfinder. And the second mission is to figure out what is going on exactly. And we are being sent by actual officials of the same, let's say, business branch or faction that operates this research facility. But since they were not successful in retrieving the right information, they are sending us, Esetos and Zenra, to figure out exactly as hidden agents, as, let's say, invited guests for a guided tour into the research facility. So it's kind of an investigation mission. And yes, other than that, we met a guy called Carl. He met us with an android called Thedas. This is going to start as the guide. We learned a little bit about the planet. It's this full of jungle life with huge pillars of electricity bursts transmitting from one to another. And yes, let's pick it up from there. Before I start the scene number 4, however, I wanted to take a break and do a bit of world building. Never underestimate a little bit of game prep, because it adds to your repository of ideas when you play solo. I don't want to spoil more than my PC should know, but I figured they would at least investigate what is this planet about, and who are these factions. Sometimes it's fine if you in the middle stop to do a bit more of world building. You don't have to do it from the very beginning. You might end up throwing a lot of things away if you don't use it. Since we need it here, I'm going to use it. But that's my style. You can also do world building as much as you like, of course. So for that, I opened the Starfinder book and I found 2 factions I liked to involve. One of them is the Augmented faction. It's cybernetic activists, because it makes sense that Mr. Adams comes from this highly technologist faction. What we know about them is that they favor computerized and mechanical adaptations. Most members are concerned with the end goal of advancement and self-improvement over any particular mechanism. The Xeno Wardens, going to check because that's the faction they're going to be against. In particular, have strengthened their ties, promoting the view that augmentation can reduce ecological impact, while Barathus from Breath have suddenly begun streaming into group assemblies for unknown reasons. So here what it mentions is that kind of I want the other faction to be the Xeno Wardens layer, like protectors of jungle life, let's say living, like they believe in scientific mystery to be unraveled and a sacred miracle to be revered. Unregulated rush outward into the galaxy in order to earn quick credits or facilitate further urban sprawl is a tragic heresy and one that must be stopped. So these 2 have an arrangement to do research in this planet under the conditions of the Xeno Wardens. This is the alliance that it's at stake, or not alliance, let's say, at least good relationships that Mr. Adams, our quest giver, does not want to risk. So we might find these guys around the game. That's what I'm saying to myself. Not necessarily now, but if things get out of control, I'm sure they would want to know about that. So I'm going to add these 2 pieces of information. This is kind of the context of the mission, not necessarily what related to what we're doing now, but now we're exploring a facility that somehow belongs or is financed by the Augmented faction. I'm gonna give them a better name. We're gonna give the names like a sub-branch of this faction is called the I mean, we said before it was the technocrat Vladimir, I don't know, something like this. Okay, I think I'm ready now to go on with the scene number 4. Hold the game, we're rolling a d20, and we start. Scene number 4 begins with a discovery. We achieve a goal or similar good news, earlier findings, or a revelation. That's good news. So we are going to trigger an opportunity. Second is this clinical thing. So I think an early finding would be to really know what is going on behind these biological problems, because they said the clinics is closed. They are gathering defenses and using biotic, I don't know. Let's say using jungle resources from the planet itself to build up defenses. So what does it mean? I think the thesis is going to talk about that in this scene. So let's see. Oh no, I need the oracle's help to see in which direction he talks. 3D 140, 19, 47. So we've got enhance, dangerous, hope. So this is what he's gonna say. Let's also see where are we exactly. So he's taking us through certain hallways, certain open doors, open automated opens, door opens, and we are in some, let's say, initial hallway. Let's see what is this hallway for, or what is this first room we visit for. I'm going to also use the Grand Oracle for everything. I'm going to use descriptor and subject. So 75 provoke and 51, no, sorry, 75 is recovered and 51 is knowledge, recovered knowledge. So the first room is going to be about different samples that this research facility got from the alien planet. And this is going to show us this, let's say, inner garden in the research facility. He's saying, welcome to the room of recovered knowledge. This planet used to be inhabited by an old species. They call them the Renners. The Renners don't exist since millions of years, and they left behind the pillars that you can see outside in the planet. These bursts of electric communication send health status of the planet itself, and they're all around the system. There are 2 more planets with similar life conditions. This one, Veda, seems to be the capital of the Renners, he explains. And he starts giving certain lore. He says, yes, that, so, and kind of, he's gonna say, do you have any questions? I'm gonna pass the ball a bit to the PCs. So Esetos is going to ask, did these Renners leave any sort of self-defense mechanism? Is this related to what are the common dangers that you can see, or the expected research problems that this facility is gonna see? And he's gonna answer, that is a very interesting question. And for that, I need really an answer, what he says. I'm gonna roll just 2 more things. 71 is prevent, 94 is a triumph. Okay. He's gonna say, what the Renners wanted is to prevent other species of their time to take advantage of their planet. And listeners gonna say, isn't that what you are doing here in this planet? Is that right? Well, it's been millions of years, so it is planetary history, systematic history, and we got the approvals of the... Oh, what was the name of this faction? Of the Senna Wardens to explore this planet, and we are doing everything under full compliance with their regulations. Essetos is gonna ask, so can you tell us more? What is the kind of dangers exactly? That we need something more specific, right? For that, I'm going to go to the extended version of GUM, because there is a discovery table, plot discovery, clues, intel information. I'm gonna roll a d4 because any of these columns can be valid to see what he tells us. 2, it's gonna something that is yet to happen, and d20 stands for 10, reinforce an area. Okay. What he says is, what the Renner set up is, once there are, let's say, invaders, and yes, you are correct, formally speaking, we are invaders of this planet, but we have a colony here from the augmented corporations, and they reproduce a certain biological bacteria that is electrically impulsed by these pillars that burst, by having like a self-healing system, or like a preventing system, as if like your body wanted to help from a virus to defend itself. And technically we are here the virus, but we are so curious about this planet that there are certain researchers that could help in multiple fields, such as health, such as medicine, technology. There's so much to understand from this planet, he says. And listener's gonna say, so this system is trying to basically kick us out of this, right? And Estetus is going to add, well, it seems so. What are the defense mechanisms that you're building? And we saw before they were using certain jungle resources like trees and branches and little leaves and so on, and maybe flowers, like they were carrying it on a package in this previous session, scene number 2. And I think this is gonna respond. We use the same biological features to cyber enhance the helmets you are wearing. The helmets you're wearing are not only oxygen, but they are also cyber enhanced with biological features. They give and enhance and boost your defenses with the same biological defense enhancements that this planet is using to defend itself. So you are winning the fight then? Did you figure it out already? I think this is gonna say, I'm afraid that is like, you don't have to worry about that right now, but I'm afraid the results of the experiments are proprietary. I see, says Lysandra. So Lysandra is like kind of the challenging of the two. Remember, Lysandra is this Shiren character. She's an operative, while Esetos is more a regulated guy, let's say, of a Las Juntas race. Anyways, what will the PCs do? Esetos is gonna... Okay, so we know there is a self-defense mechanism. There's none. Seems at least very reasonable. The question is, what is shady about it? For that, we'll have to infiltrate into some... I don't think we're gonna get much of these guys. But Esetos is a hacker in nature. He starts to think whether he could hack this Thetis to get like the root levels of access to the systems around. However, Thetis is there. He's an android. He's not going to be possible to hack, because androids in Starfinders have like souls, and they're not like really hackable. So let me think for a while. What would Esetos do? He's a computers expert. He's gonna ask Thetis to give them some time to roam around this lobby. Excuse me, Thetis, can we take our time and take a look at this beautiful room you have here? We are doing also some studies, and we are interested in seeing what kind of elements you're researching here. And he's going to say, sure, please take your time. you can connect your own devices to the research facility. This is the guest area, and it's going to give you some information if you need it. Please take your time. And he just kind of stands by, like pausing, and he's just looking. We all know that, but he's serving part of the tour, and he says, we are going to give you 10 minutes before we proceed, however, as we have a tight schedule on the plan. Sounds good. So we have 10 minutes to explore this area. We're going to take a look and research a little bit. So we try to find for clues or any information about what would we look for. I think Ecetos is not going to care about much the lore. They are on a mission here. They are looking for Lisa. This is definitely not the right place. And at the same time looking for shady business, but also we're not going to see much in a guided tour that's perfectly prepared to hide everything from the company. So he's already thinking of hacking the network. He is going to deploy his stealth drone and hide it in a corner to have it scan for wireless local networks. His drone, it's very, very tiny drone. It's called Calyx drone. It has the chassis of a stealth drone. These things, when standing still, have like a bonus of -10 to stealth. This is really cool. Let me see, where is it? Yes, reactive camouflage. +10 bonus to stealth check whenever stays stationary for 1 round. If it takes any action, it loses the bonus until it again spends 1 round. Okay, so this Ecetos is going to use this as a relay to scan the network and maybe get access to it eventually. So I'm gonna be doing that. For that, either engineering or computers is fine. Calyx drone, does it have any skills? For that, it has an AI, a limited AI. Yes, this is my, okay, I'm gonna assume it can help with the scanning, this drone, but it's going to only give a +1. I don't have. And he does this. And it launches it in like kind of stealth mode. And let's see, I'm gonna set a DC of just scanning the network. It's gonna be kind of easy. DC 14, because it's still a research facility. And we've got a 20. That's pretty good. Actually, still not a critical. We're gonna get into the results of that. What does Lisandra do? Lisandra is good at culture, disguising. Maybe we'll have to use this disguising skills. Medicine, profession, sleight of hand, stealth. So she is, or survival. This is interesting. I think she's gonna actually connect herself to the lore, to the information about this planet, and it's gonna retrieve any information about side effects and sicknesses. So she's gonna study that for a moment. Let's see, I'm gonna say that this sea of, it's very easy to do research, but she's gonna link it to her own knowledge, and she passes it perfectly. She actually, yes, DC 14, it's not yet a critical, but it's good enough. Let's see what she learns about, let's say, side effects of invading this planet legally. So we're gonna come up with something ourselves. We can make some oracle questions for this. This is also a very good practice. So I'm gonna ask a few in-character questions, because Lisandra is the one who's asking these questions. She's gonna think, okay, is this contagious? That's the first question. 10. Can't tell for now. So there are no evidence that this is contagious so far. So let's call the sickness, give it as a sickness name. I'm going to call it the Veda virus. I would like to encourage this method. Like, no GM emulator is going to be able to specifically answer your question. So you have to get into this, ask 3 questions maybe to get something out. But you have to prompt it, yes. So if this planet is kind of defending itself, it has to have a lethal method, right? So I'm gonna assume I'm gonna give it that a yes, because I'm convinced it has a lethal method. The question is, how successful are the antibiotics that are provided? Let's see. I need a chat dice roller, a d20 for that. How successful were the antibiotics? Or were they successful is the question, and the answer is no. In fact, there are many cases where the user is still infected despite using security helmets. Okay, and I'm going to make one last question. What Carl had, he was sick already. This is a very likely yes, so I'm gonna bias this to a yes. Is that the typical, like, it starts with sneezing and certain like flu-like effects? We got at 16. I'm gonna keep the highest because it's a bias on yes. The answer is 16, yes. So flu-like conditions are how the virus effects begin. And the next question, and the last one, is going to be, does it actually kill the person after a long time? Or let's say some time. 20. For 20, we've got, where is the rule set? A strong yes. So definitely it kills the patient lethally. It ends up killing the host of the virus. And I'm gonna ask one more question. Is there a cure? I'm gonna bias it towards a no. 14 and 5. Definitely no. No cure has been involved. So this is a bit problematic because our characters are already like in a dangerous, lethal virus existing planet with no evidence of a concrete successful cure yet. One of the NPCs we met seems to be, or matches the, let's say, the symptoms, but everyone is like fine with it, everyone else at least. But we have seen many androids, so androids are particularly resistant to this. So Lysandra's kind of raging up, like, don't want to get sick, in this way at least. So that's a lot of what research. Let's go to Ecetos research. He scans the network, and he definitely is going to find, let's see how many, let's see, or let me ask, do we find more than one? I'm gonna pin the chat log here. Does he find more than one network? We get a strong yes, so how many? Let's say 1d4 plus 1, so at least 2. It's 2. So 2 networks in total. There's the official one, the guest one, and of course the local secure one. And he wants to know how well encrypted and defended this network is. I'm gonna ask a GM question for that. Is it high level of security? Strong, yes. It's gonna be extremely difficult to break in without access to a local node, key access or something similar. So that's what we know for now. It's quite good, some research. Maybe the guest network is in, on the other hand, can use it as a tunnel to the local area network, right? So Estetos is going to try to be creative about that, and he's going to hack the guest network, which is potentially easier. Is it easier to hack the guest network? We got a yes. He's gonna to conduct a quick scan to look for unprotected keys and files. Let me see this guy again, Estetos. I think he had some features to do hacking with his mechanic. What else did he have? Bypass. At getting inside computer systems and electronic devices at first level, you get a +1 insight bonus to computers and engineering skills. Custom rig. Toolkit to hack systems and items. While using this rig, you always count as having the appropriate tools or basic kit for any computer or engineering skill checks you attempt. So we can basically are enabled to do this hacking, but the question is if it's remotely. I think remotely we cannot do that much, but maybe you can Estetos localize where are the closer networks node around you, like actual hardware connectivity devices. For that, you explore a bit the network and you find, let's say, how many nodes. There are 3 nodes, and is any of them close or located in this room? I think it's unlikely, so I'm gonna roll a bias of no. Where are the, oh, it's here. I'm looking for the chat log. Bias of no. So twice D20, I keep the lowest. Oh, that's pretty high. The lowest is 13, so yes, it is on this guest room. There seems to be a node specifically. So Estetos is gonna walk kind of subtly, and he's gonna move towards the hardware node, but the Android guy is watching. So he's gonna telepathically send a message to Lisandra. Hey, Lisandra, I need you to distract the Android for a moment. Sure thing, I can do that, she responds telepathically. The question is, how would she distract the Android? Let's see, what is an acrobatics, athletics, bluff. Bluff is definitely. So she's gonna talk to the Android and try to show him one of these expositions. There's a beautiful flower and it's expanding and growing and contracting, and she's gonna play the fool and kind of ask him. I think we don't have to roll a bluff for this, because she did a lot of research, so she can make an elaborate question about what she learned. So she's gonna success at distracting the Android, and then we've got free room for Estetos to do the hacking on the hardware node. Hence, he's gonna access. He needs to choose whether he's gonna hack the guest system, where, I mean, the local area network is going to be hard, so we only get access to the guest system. The idea would be to get keys or Trojans to get later on to the local system. It's going to be hard, so I'm going to roll an 18. DC 18 check of computers. It's hard because we are accessing from a guest network and it's unlikely to find a way, or very hard. But who knows? Let's do that roll now. We've got a +1, +2 because because the drone is helping, we found a local node. Plus, also I'm gonna say plus total of +3 because he's got this bonus of insight. That's a 10, makes a total of 21. That's a success. So we find a set of access keys that a guest, some local employee used accidentally in the guest network to access his local area user. So we kind of impersonate someone. I'm gonna check what are the IDs of these persons. I'm gonna ask, is it I don't think androids can make this kind of mistake, so it's gonna be something else, another race. Probably I'm gonna open the Starfinder rule set to see the races. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 races. And I'm gonna leave 8 for something else. So I'm gonna roll a d8 to see which ID, like what do we know about this NPC, right? So this NPC is number 6. It's a Vesk. So I'm gonna assume it's one of the security guards they have. It's a Vesk, so it's a brute guy, maybe one of the maintenance guys. They are fearless and raw and savage, these guys, but not the smartest. So it is quite a good coincidence that one of these made a mistake using the system. What else do we know about this person? I'm gonna go to the NPCs tables, maybe get... okay, well, I don't think we will be able to know much about that other than an ID. So we know he's a Vesk. We are gonna write that down. Veda nodes, security systems, network, or SSN, because the G stuff are usually good. So a Vesk called Reiner accidentally used his employee ID in the guest network. This is now a Trojan entry for Ecetos in the local network once he finds a node. So that's what we get. It's very good enough. And with that, I think since this was long scene number 4, but a very interesting one, I'm gonna stop this video here, and I hope you liked it. I've got a lot of things going on around me. I'm actually going to do some setting here in window controls. This is my module, by the way. It allows this bar of organizing tabs. There's an option called minimize everything on outside click. I really like this much, because what it does is minimizes everything when I click outside if I want to see the background again. But I'm going off topic again. So if you like my Foundry setup, do ask me in the comments below. Here's my list of modules. There's a bunch of things. It's really accessory. I don't really overload it so much. I use the dice, some journal improvements, and my own modules, which are to improve the UI, the sidebar, and so on. With that said, I hope you enjoyed this session 2, scene number 4, and we're going to continue it because I'm very curious about what's going to happen. Thank you and have a great day.